Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. Russia says it has shot down 2 drones that were targeting the Kremlin in Moscow last night and accused Ukraine of attempting to kill President Vladimir Putin. Unverified footage on Russian social media showed smoke over central Moscow in the early hours of Wednesday. The Kremlin said the drones were disabled by special services using electronic radar assets. Mr. Putin's spokesman said he was not in the Kremlin at the time. Ukraine says it is making no comment. At least 8 students and a security guard have been killed after a shooting at a school in Serbia's capital, Belgrade. Here, footage of the alleged 14-year-old suspect being led away for questioning. Another 6 pupils and a teacher were injured in the attack and have been taken to hospital. There is still a heavy police presence at the school, with shocked students being consoled. Officials say the student is alleged to have used his father's gun. An investigation into the motives behind the incident is underway. An explosion derailed a freight train for the second day in a row in the Russian region bordering Ukraine, sending both the locomotive and some cars off the tracks. The incident occurred in the western Bryansk region, which borders both Ukraine and Belarus. Russian officials say pro-Ukrainian sabotage groups have made multiple attacks there since Russia sent tens of thousands of troops to Ukraine in February 2022. Operator Russian Railways earlier said around 20 wagons had come off the tracks due to what they called unauthorized interference. A Kenyan leader accused of ordering his followers to starve themselves to death has appeared in court as investigators search for more bodies in a forest in the east of the country. Kenyan authorities say the dead were members of the Good News International Church, led by Paul Mackenzie, who had predicted the world would end on April the 15th and ordered his followers to kill themselves to be the first to go to heaven. The death toll stands at 109, mostly children, found in mass graves, and 8 people found alive who later died, but that number could still rise further. The Interior Ministry said more than 400 people are missing. At least 1 person has died in heavy rains and floods which have hit Italy's northern Emilia-Romagna region over the last 24 hours. An elderly man drowned when he was cycling, swept away by the waters of a flooded river in the town of Castel Bolognese. Footage released by fire brigades show extensive flooding in an area between Bologna, Emilia-Romagna's capital, and the city of Ravenna on the Adriatic coast. They said they carried out around 400 rescue operations, evacuating dozens of people. Rehearsals took place in the dark in London in preparation for the coronation. Rehearsals in the dead of night saw the horse-drawn carriage and thousands of armed forces marching through the streets that will take the King from Buckingham Palace to Westminster Abbey and back. It is set to be shorter than for his mother 70 years ago, at about 2 hours long. For the best part of 1,000 years, the kings and queens of England and Britain have been crowned at London's Westminster Abbey in a ceremony that has changed little throughout the centuries.
I know the House will join the nation and the Commonwealth in sending our very best wishes to their Majesties the King and Queen ahead of the Parliament. This will be a moment of extraordinary national pride, a demonstration of our country's character, and an opportunity to look to the future in the spirit of service, unity and hope.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Can I join the Prime Minister in his comments about the coronation? Across the House, we're all looking forward to the celebrations this weekend.
And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.